Hello and welcome to my show. This is Rishanka Jones, and today we'll be talking about preschool choices for your child before your child starts actual kindergarten. So, I'm sure a lot of you have heard terms like Montessori and traditional preschool and Catholic school and so many other types of religious schools. And it's so hard to make that decision because you just don't know which one will benefit your child the most. In today's video, we're going to break down the differences, the pros and cons between a Montessori preschool and a traditional preschool. If you think this video is going to be helpful for you, please like, subscribe, and share, and stay till the end of the video. Let's begin with traditional preschools. These are schools that have a very fixed schedule, meaning that the teachers plan the entire day from morning till afternoon. The classrooms usually consist of children who are of the same age and basically doing activities of the same nature, like playtime, circle time, recess time, or art projects. So everything moves according to the plan that the teacher creates the day before or the start of the week. A big focus is to get the kids ready for kindergarten, meaning that they're trying to get the kids ready socially and academically. When I say socially, I mean that they know how to behave in a classroom. They wait their turn. They're not fighting. They're not screaming. There's a certain decorum that they need to follow in class. And academically, basically knowing their one, two, threes, ABCs. And the fact is that the basic foundation of most elementary schools in the United States is to have a very structured learning process. So, what are the pros of traditional preschools? The pros are that this kind of structure can be great for children who thrive on a routine. It prepares the children for a typical kindergarten environment, and there's a strong emphasis on group social skills. What are the cons? The con is that because it's teacher led, it may actually have less room for children who like to learn at their own pace. Because everything is so rigid and the environment is so rigid and scheduled, children who like to learn slowly or faster, it may be very difficult for them to adjust in such an environment. Now, let's move on to the Montessori structure. So, what are these schools like? When you enter a Montessori class, you're going to see children of different ages. Usually, if your child is 3 years old and is going to a Montessori school, expect to see children of 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6 years old in the same classroom. You're going to see children who will be working independently or in small groups on activities that they choose themselves. There's a lot of hands on activities kept in a room, like thinking puzzles, sorting objects, practical life tasks like buttoning or pouring. The teacher here acts like a guide to help and support the child with whatever activity they've chosen to do at that particular time, instead of directing it and leading it and instructing the child. It's more of a child led schooling structure rather than a teacher led schooling structure. And as I mentioned before, the classroom will be a mixed age classroom, meaning there may be children from 3 to 5 to 6 years old, which basically helps your child to learn from children who are much older than them or actually mentor children who are younger than them. It's a great structure for people who learn by looking and observing. What do Montessori schools focus on? Montessori school focuses on fostering independence, a love for learning, and concentration. Kids learn through self-discovery and self-correction using the materials that have been provided to them by the teachers in the class. So what are the pros of a Montessori school? This method is for building independence, self-motivation, and deep focus. Kids learn at their own pace. This can be great for advanced learners or for children who need more time to learn. What are the cons of a Montessori? If you plan to send your child to a public school for kindergarten, then this may be a big adjustment for your child because they lose all the independence of doing activities that they usually did in a Montessori school, which was more student led rather than teacher led. In kindergarten, in a public school, you're going to see more teacher led activities. There's generally less emphasis on group led activities compared to the traditional preschools. Also, Montessori schools can sometimes be very expensive because of the high teacher costs and specialized materials and teaching methods. So, traditional versus Montessori, which wins? It actually just depends on your child and your financial situation. But I am going to help you make this decision by giving you a few more tips when you're evaluating schools for your child. The first point to consider when you're choosing between a traditional or a Montessori school is think about your child. Does your child thrive in a structured environment, or do they like to do things at their own pace? Do they like to be in a group, or do they like to do things alone? The next one is to consider your family's values. What is most important to you? Academic milestones, strong social skills, or would you like your child to be more independent and self reliant? Once you figure that out, try to align the school's philosophy with your priorities. The third one is to visit the schools. Going to a school in person tells you so much more than a website or a brochure. So go in person, talk to teachers, understand their curriculum, ask questions about daily schedules, teacher qualifications, communications with parents, and how they discipline children. And the last one and the most important one is to follow your gut. When you go to the school and you talk to the teachers, you see your child's reaction or you see how your child fits into that environment. Just follow your gut because you know your child the best and you know which environment will fit the best for them. Choosing the right preschool can feel like a huge decision, but the goal should be to find a safe and nurturing environment for your child where your child can learn and grow. So, whether it's traditional, Montessori, or another approach, remember the right fit for your child matters the most. So, this was a quick 5-minute fact check about the differences between Montessori and traditional preschools, pros and cons, and which would be the best choice for your family. If you think this video is helpful to you, please like, subscribe, and share. Until then, this is Rishanka Jones signing off.